How's it going, my dreamers? This is Born to Dream, back with another raid boss guide for you guys. Be sure to leave a like down below if you're enjoying the video. Subscribe for some more Pokemon Go raid boss guide content. Be sure to check out the playlist in the description down below if you haven't missed any of our previous raid boss guides. I did mention that this is going to be, I think I mentioned that this is going to be the last raid boss for the current wave we're in, the Registeel wave, I guess you could say. So if you missed Raichu or Flareon, go ahead and check those videos out, because they will help you with those particular raid bosses if you don't know how to solo them. But the raid boss that we are trying to solo today is Donphan. You see what I did there? I tried to create suspense even though there was like no suspense necessary, because it literally says in the YouTube title and it shows in the thumbnail that the raid boss would be Donphan, but I clicked here so you guys would be like, oh my god, what is it going to be? Like, I could have been screwing with you. This could have been a Registeel raid boss guide, but like, who'd want to see a Registeel raid boss guide? Am I right? Anyways, let's talk about Donphan here. So, Donphan is a pure ground type, meaning that you're going to want to come in with your water, grass, and ice types. Donphan is pretty bulky, and it does have a pretty decent attack stat. It's not like meta because of its move pool, as you can see down there, but we'll jump into that in a minute. But Donphan's a pretty well-rounded, pretty good raid boss. It is pretty difficult just because it's so bulky. Not so much that it can take out all of your mons. It's just really bulky and it's kind of a pain to take out. And there's not a whole lot of stuff you can use against it to solo it with. I guess there's a decent amount of Pokemon, but it's not a very... I wouldn't say it's a very long list of Pokemon that you can use against this thing to solo it. But anyways, let's talk about Donphan here. So we're looking at 214 attack and defense. And then we're looking at 180 for its HP. The attack and defense are all that matters, because again, HP is just skyrocketed to 3,000. So this could be like freaking 500 stamina. It wouldn't matter, because all raid bosses, at least at the tier 3 level, have 3,000 HP. Now, I mentioned Donphan's moveset. Donphan's moveset is pretty lackluster, in my opinion. As you guys could see, we have Counter Earthquake, Counter Play Rough, Tackle Earthquake, Counter Heavy Slam, Tackle Play Rough, and Tackle Heavy Slam. The fact that it even gets Tackle makes it pretty bad, because Tackle is actually not that bad of an offensive move, just because you could just spam Tackle and get your charge meter up a lot faster. It's a very quick move, but it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. As you guys would probably know just from playing a Pokemon game, Tackle's not really a good move. So, really, Donphan's lack of a ground-type quick move really hurts it, and I hope that at some point in the future they give Donphan, like, Mudshot or something, because it doesn't really... It can't really take advantage of its stab moveset, and that's kind of like... That's a big problem if a Pokemon can't take advantage of its stab moveset, because, I mean, look at most of the Pokemon that are good right now. They have a good dual stab moveset, and if they don't, well, they're pretty good defenders. I mean, like for example, you know, Blissey. Blissey doesn't have a good stab moveset. I mean, it gets Hyper Beam, but like you shouldn't run Hyper Beam Blissey. Because Hyper Beam is stupid slow. So, people usually run, like, you know, either Pounder Dazzling Gleam, or they'll run Zen Headbutt Dazzling Gleam, just because it's a good counter moveset to Machamp. So, I mean, but for the most part, you want your Pokemon to have a double stab moveset. And that's just not the case with Donphan. And its coverage moves aren't really that great either. I mean, Heavy Slam helps with ice types, so that's cool. Play Rough doesn't really help it. Not that I could think of, really. I guess if you went in with like Breloom, but I don't see people soloing Donphans with Breloom, so that's not really a problem. It's just it's really a Pokemon that lacks a good moveset, and even Earthquake is pretty slow. So the only good move here really is Counter. Not really, but I was getting to that. That's the way I was going, sort of. So you guys can see all this. Tackle is a bad move. Counter is good, and then yeah, basically all I said right there. So let's get into the weaknesses here. I think I mentioned them all. Yeah. So grass, ice, water is what it's weak to. This would be Exeggutor. This would be Sceptile. This would be Frenzy Plant, Venusaur. You can go in with Solar Beam Venusaur, but I think Frenzy Plant Venusaur is much, much better. Ice, Articuno, Jinx. Jinx is a pretty decent ice type, just as like a glass cannon, sort of. Not really anything else besides those. The thing about ice types, though, is you are very weak to Heavy Slam. So, in general, I would try to stay away from ice types if you can help it, and I'm sure most people can. And then water types, Kyogre, Gyarados, Vaporeon, you know, the usual water types you see in gyms. Probably not Milotic, but yeah, basically those. You don't see Kyogres in gyms either, but basically those water types are what you want to use against Donphan there. So, let's talk about its perfect IVs. So if you're looking for a perfect IV Donphan, there's nothing wrong with that. Donphan is a very good Pokemon. It just doesn't have a good moveset. But it's still a pretty decent defender. So you might want a perfect of this. So a perfect Donphan in non-boosted weather would be 1727. A perfect Donphan with clear weather, because remember clear weather boosts ground types, is going to be 2158. I mean, it's got a pretty high CP. Anything above 3K is going to be pretty decent, except for Rhydon. But I'm throwing all the shots in this video. I'm sorry, but I'm throwing shade at everything today. All right, let's get into the counters here. So, completely forgot about Alolan Exeggutor. But anyways, here are the Supreme counters. So, for Supreme counters, we got Kyogre and Gyarados. Because they resist Heavy Slam, and, I mean, and Gyarados resists Earthquake too. So, there you go. Waterfall, Hydro Pump, or Blizzard. Probably want to go with Waterfall, Hydro Pump, and then Waterfall, Hydro Pump. Seems pretty standard. And then you got all the good counters here. Salamence is back on this list. I fucking love it, dude. I gotta do a freaking Salamence solo with either against one of these tier 3 raid bosses. I need to do it. I want to make that video for you guys. I really, really do. I just got to get around to doing it. So, anyways, we got Venusaur with Vine Whip or Razor Leaf, whatever you prefer. Vine Whip is faster. Razor Leaf does more damage. So, Vine Whip or Razor Leaf and Frenzy Plant. Then you got regular Exeggutor, Bullet Seed. Probably not Confusion. Solar Beam, Seed Bomb if you don't like wasting Solar Beams. I'm not a huge fan of it, so I can see why you might want to go for Seed Bomb. Alolan Exeggutor, Bullet Seed, probably not Dragon Tail, and Solar Beam. Alolan Exeggutor is interesting, but stay away from Play Rough. I completely forgot about Alolan Exeggutor against a Play Rough Donphan. It's not a smart idea, so if you do have a lot of Alolan Exeggutors, you can use them, just keep that in mind. Salamence, Play Rough. Yeah, be very, very careful of Play Rough for these two right here. Dragon Breath, Solar Beam for Latios. Bullet Seed, Leaf Blade for Sceptile. The standard moveset for Sceptile is Fury Cutter, Leaf Blade, but I believe Ground resist Bug, right? Am I wrong in saying that? Am I wrong in saying that Bug resists Ground? Or, I'm sorry, Ground resists Bug? Let's see. Right here. Let me go all the way back here. It's it looks like it's neutral. I just don't see it. It's right there. It's right in front of my face. Alright, so it's neutral. So you can go in with Fury Cutter Leaf Blade. All my Sceptiles actually have Fury Cutter Leaf Blade. You guys will see those Sceptiles in this video. I actually would recommend using Sceptile over probably these guys, just because Leaf Blade does so much damage and you could just spam Leaf Blades like crazy. That's why I love Sceptile, dude. And then you got Jinx with Frost Breath, and Avalanche. And then you got your little graph here. Probably stay away from Cacturne because Cacturne is weak to Play Rough, so I'd stay away from that if possible. And then you got stuff like Victory Bell. Victory Bell is stupid frail, so I probably wouldn't go with that either. Groudon. Groudon's pretty good for clear weather, but I don't know if you could solo. You might be able to solo with a Mudshot, Solar Beam, Groudon. That's something you guys would have to practice, or I would have to practice, or whatever. And then Rayquaza here. If you want to go with Dragon types, these two are probably better. Dragonite's not on the list, interestingly enough. And then you got these two right here. And Sharpedo is always a very, very frail candidate, so use that with caution. It's also very weak to Play Rough, so I guess Play Rough is pretty good for, but it's really nichey. It's really nichey, and chances are, like, a Donphan defender is going to be met with, like, Kyogre, Gyarados, Venusaur, Executor. I don't think people are trying to take Donphans out of gyms with Salamences, unfortunately. But, anyways. Here's your little chart for all the TDO and DPS. So, yeah. Now, let's get into the weather for Donphan. Let's get into the weather here. And I'm looking for raid boss lists. That's what I want, right? Yes. Okay. So, if you want to solo a Donphan, the best weather to solo Donphan in is either rainy weather, and I would say snowy weather. You could do it in snowy weather too. If you're going in with ice types, sure, go for it. Just stay away from heavy slam. And then I guess I would say clear. I would only say clear because, like I said before, Donphan doesn't get a ground type quick move, so it's not that move won't be boosted by clear weather. The only move that will be boosted by clear weather is Earthquake. So, and Earthquake's kind of easy to dodge, so I wouldn't worry too much about that in clear weather. And I actually have to take back what I said about snowy weather because Steel does get boosted by snowy weather, so you might want to avoid that. I would say rainy weather and clear weather because if I were you, I wouldn't worry too much about Earthquake. It's very, very easy to dodge. So those would be the weathers you get a good advantage of. And then the neutral weathers would be like partly cloudy, fog, and windy. Basically everything else. And then the weather to avoid would probably be... No, sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. You probably want to avoid cloudy. Avoid cloudy. I named all those, and I was like, whoa, what else is there? Yeah, avoid cloudy, basically, because counter and play rough will get boosted in cloudy weather, so stay away from that. So, yeah, that about does it for Donphan. Let's go ahead and jump into the battles. Alright, so, first up, we have Heavy Slam, Donphan. Now, Heavy Slam, I would say, is the easiest, and normally I put 1-bar moves at the end here, and I did say that Earthquake is easy to dodge, but the reason why Heavy Slam is easier is because, I mean, if you go in with just all water types, you really don't take that much damage from a Heavy Slam Donphan. It will wear you down a little bit, but it's not really a problem because I don't think Heavy Slam is that great of a move, and it just doesn't really help Donphan at all. So, but you guys see me starting out with the Executor. You guys will see like Kyogre and I don't know if I brought Gyarados into this. I don't remember, but yeah, you guys will just see how much damage a Heavy Slam does to a Kyogre. Now, if you don't have Kyogre, well, like I said before, you can use Gyarados, you can use Vaporeon. I'm sorry, not Vaporeon. Don't use Vaporeon, because Vaporeon won't do that much damage. I guess just basically Gyarados you want to use if you don't have a Kyogre and you're looking for a water type. If you don't have either, then go in with all grass types, and you probably want to do it in clear weather, preferably so you get those grass moves boosted, like I have right now. I think I got about, I'm going to get one more Solar Beam. Well, this isn't the same as Executor. I think I got 2 off with this Executor. So you probably want to get like 2 Solar Beams off if you're going in with Solar Beam, just to start out. I mean, look at how much damage that frickin' Heavy Slam did. Granted, this is a max Kyogre, but look at how much damage that frickin' did. It did nothing at all. So, this moveset really isn't that hard to take down. If you have, I mean, obviously, if you have the right Pokemon. If you guys see freezing, I apologize. I don't know if that's my editor or if that's the phone. Yeah, that's it. That's the phone. I mean, all of this stuff is getting recorded in pretty hot weather, so I'm staying cool, but the phone isn't, basically. But we got this down to like 58 seconds in the red. So remember that 50-second mark is what you want to hit if you are doing a tier 3 solo. Generally speaking, might not be true for every single raid boss, but that's kind of like a safe indicator of if you're going to be able to solo or not. So I'm definitely going to do that. And this is Kyogre number 2 now. And I mean, it did take out the first Kyogre, but I bet you if I dodged it, I probably would have survived. I probably could have just did this with 1 Kyogre, but managed to take it down with 20 seconds. These will be pretty close because Donphan is very, very bulky, but I mean, generally speaking, it's not that bad. At least Heavy Slam isn't that bad. So yeah, and I got 20 super potions. That's a giant facepalm right there. So anyways, yeah. Alright, next up we got Earthquake Donphan. Now, Earthquake is a 1-bar move, a very slow 1-bar move. So if you can dodge it, you'll be good. A lot of times you probably won't want to dodge for Donphan because, I mean, it does take a little bit of time to take down a Donphan. So you don't want to dodge too much, but dodging does help. At least you got, I mean, you could say it revives and potions if that's your thing. But anyways, this raid I decided to go in with Sceptiles. Honestly, I should have gone in with Sceptiles for the other 2 raids, just because Sceptile is so freaking awesome. But the thing about Sceptile is it doesn't take hits too well. But I mean, you don't waste Leaf Blades either. It's pretty sweet. You guys can kind of see the strategy I use with Sceptile. It's the same strategy I use with like a lot of 3-bar mons. I try to fill up the charge meter as much as possible, and then I just sit there and spam Leaf Blades. Basically, if it gets me to the red, I just power up to like 1 Leaf Blade, and then, you know, I'll just fire off Leaf Blades that way. So getting those Leaf Blades back up again, I'm gonna go spam right through them. And yeah, it's basically how you use Sceptile against this thing. Now, the Earthquakes are doing a bit of damage. Sceptile is pretty frail though, but you would, I mean, I think dodging does help against Earthquake Donphan because it does do a little bit of damage. But you know, as you can see there, I did dodge because I did kind of learn that like at a certain spot when I was at a certain amount of health that I needed to start dodging, and that was like when I was green and barely in the yellow, basically. But you guys did see that I kind of, you guys did see that I tried to get like 3 Leaf Blades again, get 3 Leaf Blade charge moves again after that Earthquake a while back. And anyways, we're in here with the Kyogre, and Kyogre's kind of doing its thing. That Earthquake did do a lot of damage to Kyogre. This is in clear weather, I believe. So, you guys can see how much an Earthquake did to a maxed out Kyogre. So, you guys can kind of see that and try and come up with your own strategy, like if you want to dodge or if you don't want to dodge with your Kyogres or with your Mons in general. I should mention that Gyarados is a flying type. So, Gyarados might be the superior choice over Kyogre just for that reason. But Kyogre probably does more damage. So, that's just something to keep in mind, that Gyarados is a flying type, and it does resist ground type moves. So, yeah. Alright, so now we have Play Rough Donphan, and I believe this is the hardest moveset for Donphan Soul Link, because Play Rough is a pretty good move, and it's a 2-bar move. It's a 2-bar fairy move, does about 90 base damage, so it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Now, when you're going up against Play Rough Donphan, Venusaur and not Executor, just Venusaur is a good choice. Preferably Frenzy Plant Venusaur, because Frenzy Plant Venusaur is a poison type. Well, Venusaur in general is a poison type, and poison does resist fairy, so it's a pretty good choice. If you have a maxed out Frenzy Plant Venusaur from Community Day, then yeah, by all means go in with that. I think you guys did see me, you guys are going to see me use my own Venusaur, and I apologize for freezing again. It's just hot weather, so apologies. But you guys will see my Frenzy Plant Venusaur in this one. I don't have it powered up, and it has pretty bad IVs, but it was kind of just there, just to sort of clean up against Donphan. And if you guys hear Google Map directions, that's another thing. I probably need to get rid of that, or I need to find some way to edit that out. But yeah, I basically found this Donphan raid while I was trying to get to a different raid. So yeah, I found that raid off of Discord, and I was trying to get to that raid in time before work, and I found this Donphan raid along the way. So yeah, but it is doing a bit of damage to Kyogre, and freezing again. This is kind of like, it's kind of with the freezing. It's kind of, I don't think that's really helping. But anyways, we're in here with Executor. You guys saw how much the Play Rough did to the Executor. It does quite a bit of damage, and yeah, but I do manage to get 2 Solar Beams off. It's a nice thing about if you take a lot of damage, your charge meter goes up a lot faster, and it sort of makes the solo go a little better, depending on when you get hit with the charge move. But got in the red well before 50 seconds, so we should be able to get this pretty easily. This isn't clear weather. Again, I can only do these Donphans in clear weather because, I mean, it was pretty hot in California, and it's pretty hard finding a Donphan raid in cloudy weather because there's really no cloudy weather. So, and that's another thing. If you're doing a Donphan solo in cloudy weather, you have to watch out for Play Rough, because Play Rough is boosted in cloudy weather. So is Counter, by the way. So yeah, but I'm going in with the Venusaur here. Honestly, I think I should have gone in with my Skeptiles instead, but well, Play Rough probably would have obliterated those Skeptiles, but it doesn't matter because we managed to beat it. So this was a pretty close one. Play Rough is kind of a difficult moveset to solo, but if you could solo this, you could solo Donphan consistently. So that about does it for this video. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And the next raid boss guide, I don't know, because I did every single raid boss I could do at this point. I'm not going to do Porygon, and I've already done Machamp raid boss guide. I might go back and sort of update those raid boss guides. We'll see. Gen 4 is right around the corner, so I'm looking forward to that. And there were rumors that came out yesterday about you know, a possible new raid bosses and a whole evolution event going on. So if that produces any new raid bosses, I will be doing solo raid boss guides on those. So anyways, I will see you guys when I make those guides. Keep living the dream. Goodbye.